You sound like fucking Mole Man. Jesus fuck. Alright, guys, what's up? It's Wait Tomorrow, back at you again with another video. And today, we're gonna do a rant for Avengers Endgame. The release of the movie is finally out. And this is going to be spoilers. Beware. There are going to be spoilers in this spoiler talk. So, this is definitely going to be a rant. And my rant isn't going to be so much about the film, it's going to be about the people that I see on YouTube, that I've seen online, ranting about the movie. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with ranting about anything because I rant about pretty much everything. I mean, there are channels literally called I Hate Everything on YouTube. There is Ethan and H3H3, which I love them. I haven't seen them in a while, but regardless, there's a content for that, and that's on the market, and that's definitely in the market, and people love to see negativity there. There's nothing more. People don't love anything more than to see negativity. Negativity kind of beats positivity most of the times, but of course, everyone knows this. Positivity strives, but we're not going to talk about love and hate and good and bad. We're going to talk about this film and the people that are ranting about this movie. Now, as always, I'm going to always defend, my movies, my universe. And, this film is not the greatest film of all time. I see a lot of people saying that it is the greatest superhero film of all time, which I think is a little ridiculous. This film is pretty much one in itself. It's its own universe. It's really unique. It's the culmination of 10 years of filmmaking. It's literally an achievement. You can't really call it the greatest superhero film of all time because this isn't The Dark Knight. This isn't a solo film. This isn't the second solo film. This isn't the first team up. This isn't the third team up. This isn't even the fourth team up. They call it Avengers Endgame. The fourth Avengers film, which it is, but to me, I've always, and I still will always stick with, this film is the fifth Avengers film. Civil War is Avengers 2.5 or 3, that's not a Captain America film, but, either way, that's not the argument. Oh, there's a little kitty out here. He's coming to my car. I'm prone to cats. But anyway, I'm not Captain Marvel. But yeah, there's a lot of people ranting online. A lot of people saying that there's too much talking in the film. It's kind of boring, and it's 3 hours for no reason. And there's just a lot of it feels like they feel like as if the film is dragged out. And when I watched this film 3 times. So just imagine where I'm coming from. The first time I watched this film, I left out, and when I walked out the theater, I enjoyed the film. I loved the film, but me as being a Marvel fan, I will always have my gripes about any film I watch, especially if I know the characters are at least somewhat of the character. So when I saw this film, I initially had my issues with Thor. I initially had my issues with Hulk. I initially had my issues with who else? Not Gamora. Gamora was great. But yeah, Thanos. I've had my issues with all these characters, and I've talked about it and I've been vocal about it, but not as far as on YouTube. But I definitely need to. That's why I made the channel. But yeah, strap. You gotta strap. You gotta strap. But anyways, people are like, oh, there's too much talking. I'm saying to myself, it's literally the culmination of 10 years. How could you walk into this film? How could you watch the trailers? And even if you haven't seen any trailers, how could you go into this film, this particular movie, and say, oh my God, this film only has 30 minutes of action. Oh my gosh, the last hour has action in it, but there's 3 hours and it takes us all this. Like, dude, it's not about the action scene. I can't stand people. And this is always my gripe about anything, and maybe it's just me. I know I'm not alone, though. I don't care about seeing a property, a entertainment kind of property, anything I can find value in as far as entertainment-wise, not knowledgeable, but even if it's that, because most entertainment is knowledgeable in some, certain aspects, of course. But when it comes to a film like this is a superhero film, so people, they denote the fact that there's a story involved. There's characters that have to, finish up their act, finish up their arcs. They're like, oh my god, like, let's see a lot of action scenes. That was a badass in Infinity War. He's got to come back. He's got to destroy these guys. We got to see that story prolong. And my thing is this, this film starts off so fucking great. It starts off, Tony's in space. He's dying. He's running out of oxygen, whatnot. His skin's kind of fucking frail. He's pretty fragile looking fella. But anyway, Captain Marvel saves the day. Whatever, who cares? But to the point, Thanos is still alive. He's on a planet. He's on Titan 2. He has the garden. It's just like the comics. He's a fucking, he's on the farm. He's just living out his days as, the bearer of all fruits. But anyways, he just, and then they come in there, Captain Marvel. I felt like that was, that's something that you should, like, if you're gonna rant about this film, rant about the power levels, rant about the nerfing of characters, rant about stuff like that, rant about the agendas that are being pulled and stuff like that. Even though, I don't like to really talk about the agendas and all this stuff. I just think that that's all nonsense. These are movies. These are fucking movies. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too long ago, and it still is today, where people still call these films comic book movies. And the infamous quote that I can't stand and hate is, oh, these are comic book movies. There's not really anything here as long as the movie's fun. That's literally what ruined the DCU. Not just that, but I'm just saying, like, that notion, that specific statement, oh, these are comic book movies, you just have fun, watch it, be entertained. And it's like, it's a fucking joke. It's like, these are not just that. These characters go places, these characters do stuff, and you see that in this film even more so. That's what I love about this movie, is that they close out Iron Man's arc, they close out Cap's arc, they close out everybody's arc, and they show you where everybody's going to continue, where this universe is heading. And it's like, holy shit, like, Iron Man just died. He's gone. Like, there's no more Iron Man. This is the guy that started the universe. And when Iron Man dies, dude, it's just like, wow, I'm gonna cry. So it was just crazy. I mean, of course, not every character is represented. Like, Drax the Destroyer is not represented. He's not at all. But he's also dead in the whole entire film. So it's like, what do you expect? So that's the type of stuff to be mad about. Don't be mad because there's not enough action for you. Because guess what? This is the culmination of 10 years. You are supposed to appreciate what they've done. I saw a video earlier, a rant video from some guys, and they were like, Spider-Man has millions of fans. Why on earth would you only give him one action scene? Why would you just give him that one scene in the film? It's like, did you not see the last fucking movie, man? Like, did you not see the last movie? Were you not paying attention? It's like, yeah, the writers could have wrote it differently. I totally agree with that. But to sit there and say, oh, Spider-Man wasn't in the film enough, I'm a fan of Spider-Man, it sounds like me. Like, I do that a lot of times too. I bitch and moan about certain characters and them not being represented. But it's like, for the story's sake, like, let's talk about the story's sake of the MCU. It's like, I'm not even an MCU fan. Everybody should know that. I'm not the biggest fan. I count on them all the time. I rag on them all the time. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is the culmination of 10 years. I'm gonna keep saying that. Like, get it through your head. It's like, this is the culmination of 10 years. This is 10 years of fucking work, man. It's like, you can't just sit there and shit all over it because, oh, Spider-Man didn't like, Spider-Man, I don't care about, like, I like Spider-Man as a character in the comics. I don't think that he's represented in the MCU as Tom Holland. I think his Spider-Man is great, but I think his Peter Parker's trash. But that's another video. But to sit there and say that the action is not, there's not enough action, and then there's too much story, and there's a lot going on, and there's like the last 30 minutes of action. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen this film 3 times now. I'm gonna see it again and again and again. And you know what? When I go to those theaters, I sit in there, I look at every little detail. Every time I rewatch the film, I look at every detail and I look at every little plot point, and I say, okay, yeah, there's a lot, Dos es máquinas. There's a lot of, conveniences. There's a lot of coincidences. But it's like, for you to be mad about that in this film, like Jeremy Jahns, he put up his review, which was a great review, and he was talking about how like there's a lot of convenient shit that happens in this film, and he was saying also, like, how could you be mad at this film for having that, but you're not, no one talks about this with the other film, and it's like, where reviewers and stuff like that, where they're all waiting for this film to rag on it, like, that's not cool, like, like, I've been talking about that for years now, it's like, come on, like, are you serious, like, that's not cool, like, so it's like, I'm just saying, like, give this film its due process. You have to let this film breathe and enjoy it, because this is it, We will not ever see Tony Stark again in this universe unless he is in a flashback, a hologram projector, whatever it has to be, but it will not be Iron Man as we know it, It won't be the same, And it sucks. It blows. And then Thor, these guys have all moved on. He doesn't even want to be Thor anymore. Which I've been saying that since Thor Ragnarok. He stopped being Thor in that film. And, that's why I was so upset when I saw this film. And I wanted to kind of, like, okay, the second time I watched this film, I kid you not, man, I was in the theater, and the scene comes on where, he goes to New Asgard, and he talks to Valkyrie, and he's like, the people look up to you. You're what they need. You're their queen. Not their king, their queen. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, bro, I'm not, like, the first time I watched it, of course I'm watching the whole entire film. I'm going to watch the whole entire film. So I saw the scene. But the second time I went to view it, I bounced. I got the fuck up out of there. Like it was Annabelle. I got the fuck up out of there like it was a Transformers. I got the fuck up out of there like it was Fast and Furious. I got the fuck up out of there like it was Iron Man 3 all over again. Like, that was just trash, 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 trash. But then again, I understand, It's not the comics. Psych. Nah, but yeah, like, that's just the way I feel, man. Don't be, just appreciate